Do you know what that means?
We're getting organized.
We're getting organized, yes, but we are quickly approaching all of the holidays.
Yes.
Thanksgiving is quickly coming up. So Kristin MacRae from Organizing in Rhode Island, thanks so much for joining us today.
Nice to see you. Always.
Nice to see you as well. You have your warm sweater on. Even though it hasn't been really cold lately, but we are getting close to the holidays, and so you're helping us today get organized in the kitchen, which I think is super awesome.
Yes.
So let's start off by saying, why is it important to get organized in the kitchen besides just wanting to feel good?
So especially around the holiday season, they're stressed out first of all because they have a lot going on. So if you're doing a lot of cooking this holiday season, it's so important to get the kitchen organized. So you want to spend as less time as possible, the least amount of time as possible in the kitchen during this time. So if you have a really organized, efficient, and productive kitchen, it's going to make your life that much easier, and it's one less stress that you have to deal with during the holidays. So this is a great time to do it before the holiday rush and all the stress that comes with it. So it's a great time to do it now. Mark it on your calendar for this weekend, and in a few hours you'll have a brand new kitchen.
I think that will be great. You know, we've talked about this before. The less time you have to touch things, the simpler things will be. So the less time you have to touch something in your cupboard, if you're baking, if you're cooking, the less time you have to touch things in your refrigerator, the more simplified your life can be. So
it really adds up.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And hello to our friend Shira, who's out there on maternity leave. She's our nutritionist that we use here.
Great.
She says, you know, getting your kitchen organized in a simplified manner can really help your eating habits.
Oh, it all plays it together, definitely.
So you want to organize your cupboards and your refrigerator, your pantry. Organize it. I think that can really help in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So you said it can help you save money.
Oh, definitely. How many items? All right, so let's go with when's the last time you took everything out of your food pantry? Probably
Well, I don't have one, but my cupboards, yeah.
Your cupboards,
we try to go through stuff and either donate things that we know we're not going to eat or toss stuff that we know is bad.
Yeah, so some people will say they haven't emptied their closet since the first time they moved in their house.
Yeah, that's
so true. Every kitchen I organize, we throw out at least 3 bags of expired food, believe it or not.
Wow.
So if you're just going to the market and not making your food list from an organized food cabinet, and you're just going to the market, buying things, shoving them in the closet, you're buying duplicate items. You're buying things that eventually are going to expire. You have too much, and then you need to have that organized food cabinet. That way you can know exactly what you're buying at the market and not waste and purchase those duplicate items. All those impulse items too. You know exactly what you have. The impulse items get everybody too, so you'll be saving money that way.
Okay, so those are just a few reasons why we want to get you organized in the kitchen.
Yes.
Okay, so we have 7 easy steps, and I think you added actually 1 bonus step in there. So, but we like to say 7 easy steps to get you organized in the kitchen for the holidays and then beyond as well. All right, so the first step is think about your kitchen.
Right, so a lot of people are overwhelmed. They say, that's an overwhelming task, I can't do it. Well, before you even say that, I want you to put a plan into motion, because you can't just go into your cabinets and start tearing apart the kitchen. You have to have a plan. So I want you to just sit in your kitchen, open every cabinet, and make note of what you see, what you might want to change. Maybe something, when you first moved in your house, you kind of threw things there and you're really not liking the way it's functioning, but you haven't had the time to do it, or you haven't put a plan into motion to do it. So just sit with a pen and paper or your tablet and look at your kitchen, open all the cabinets. That's the first thing I want you to do, and have a vision of how you want to function going forward. So before you even start tearing apart the kitchen, create this vision. What are your expectations of the kitchen? How do you want to function? Do you like to cook, and how do you like to grab things? And what don't you like about the kitchen now? So really have that plan in place and write it all down, and then we can put that plan into motion of actually physically getting you organized.
Okay.
And that will release that overwhelm.
How much of this has to be a team effort? Because, you know, maybe one person in the house likes things one way, but then, you know, when dishes get put away or groceries get put away by someone else, it ends up a totally different way than what things are.
Yeah, so I'll say that to the people who like to cook, those are the people who should actually be organizing the cooking, the spices, the things that they're grabbing on a regular basis. But also, I think if you're still moving around in the kitchen, obviously everybody's in the kitchen, I think it should be a group effort with maybe the 2 adults, or if you can't get one other adult in there that's living in the house, maybe just get their input of how they want to function, and then you tackle the organizing part of it. So at least maybe get everybody's input, have a little family meeting, get a little input, and then put the plan into motion. Whoever's going to actually do the physical organizing can incorporate everybody's little pieces in there.
Okay.
So that will help.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Because that can be tough. We have a plan, and then the plan just doesn't do anything.
Exactly.
All right. Organizing your food pantry. All right. So you say once you make the plan, tackle it.
Once you make, again, after you have that vision, now you get everybody on board, and now it's everything out of the food pantry. Everything out. But you have to, yeah, but you're going to do it in an organized fashion too. So you just can't take everything out, throw it all on the counter. Exactly. So you want to be able to, as you're taking out, look at the expiration dates. A lot of people, I say, some people don't want to throw out expired food. They think it's still good to use, and that's perfectly fine. It's a preference. So I never tell people they have to throw anything away. So from there, look at the expiration dates, toss what you can, and then whatever you're keeping, now start itemizing and categorizing things on the table. Your pastas, your breakfast, your baking, things like that. So now when you start to load in, you have all the categories there, and that's going to be efficient for you to actually organize it back in the closet. So the process is going to be the same for everybody. Everybody's going to follow the same process to take everything out, categorize, but the systems are going to be different. So when you're putting things back in, I want you to think about how you're grabbing things. What do you want to see at eye level? What needs to be low on the shelves? So think about how you're functioning when you're putting things back in, how you want to organize them.
Okay. And from our nutritionist, licensed dietitian nutritionist, they suggested that, put those cookies
out of
all the junk food, put them up really high so that it takes, and put them behind the other things so it takes 1 to 2, 3 extra steps to get to them.
Exactly.
So if you're worried, or not worried, but if you want to make a little extra effort to get to the things that maybe you shouldn't be eating all of the time.
Right.
So
totally agree.
Organize like that.
Yes.
Also said an effort when you're doing your refrigerator, put the fresh produce on the top level of your refrigerator rather than in the crisp or the drawer because you're forgetting about them down there.
Exactly.
At that top level. So I always found that those when you're talking about organizing and nutrition,
they go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand.
They definitely
plus
do.
You'll eat them faster when they're inside.
Right.
Okay. So you also said use bins if you have to, use labeling if you have to, use these tools that you use them.
Yes. So don't go out and buy these products first. You want to get organized and say, okay, I have tuna pocket, the little tuna pouches, or I have granola bars and things that I want to contain that I don't want to just leave them hanging out on a shelf. You want to take them out of the box and things like that. So I want you to see what you have first, measure the space, then go and purchase the container that's going to hold these products. So people get so excited, they're like, oh, I want to go buy containers, it's so exciting and they're pretty, but you get them home and they're not the right product and you continue to work with a broken system. So organize out the cabinet, then purchase the containers, measure height, width, length, and then purchase the container that actually fits what you need it to.
Okay. Get the food off the top of the fridge.
Yes, so especially if you're entertaining this season, a lot of people have food on top of the fridge. So one, it's going to wreak havoc. The heat from the fridge will wreak havoc on your food. So you don't want to store food on top of the fridge. And I guarantee if you reorganize your kitchen, everything that's on top of the refrigerator will come off and there'll be a home for it. So, and the first thing you want to see when you walk in your house, when you see that kitchen, your eye is going to go right to that refrigerator with the food on it. My eye, when I'm in those houses, it goes right to it. It's clutter and you get attracted to it, and then you get distracted in the kitchen, and it's the first thing you see.
Okay.
So,
get that stuff off of there.
Yes.
He also said organize and take inventory of your baking items.
Right, so a lot of houses too will have baking items scattered all over the kitchen. Now think about if you love to bake. How about containing all those, especially with the holidays coming around?
Oh yeah, cookie parties.
Yes, think about organizing all these in one spot. The flour, all the sugar, everything that you use to bake with, put it in one area of the kitchen. Also, you have like your sprinkles and your extracts and all those little things. Those can be contained in a container. So when you're going to grab them, you pull the container down, and now you're working out of the container, and then you're maximizing space in your cupboards that way too by having these little containers, because there are things not thrown all over the cabinet and then fall to the back, and that's when you forget what you have and you buy more. So containing your baking products, the small products, and keeping all these products together, they're going to save you time, you're going to be less stressed, and when you need to bake, everything's going to be in one spot.
And just as you're saying that, I'm thinking maybe I'll get a tea container, because all my tea is, I have a tea shelf, but then of course other stuff gets put into the tea shelf. I'll get a tea container. I like that.
Thank you, Molly. I love it.
I like that. Good job, Kristin. All right, go through all your spices, because we all have a million spices, and who knows what they are, where they are throughout the house.
Right, and again with holidays, you'll be cooking spices. So you might think you need to go out and purchase all these spices, but really,
everyone has 15 garlics in their house. I guarantee it. Garlic salt, garlic pepper, garlic.
Right. So quick little project. You can do this in 15 minutes tonight. Pull all your spices out of your spice area. Check for expiration dates. They do expire because they lose potency. They don't smell as strong anymore. Categorize them out. You're going to find duplicates. Email me if you have duplicates and say, Kristin, you were right. I have duplicates, and they were all in the back of the cupboard. So again, the process, take everything out, throw out the expired, categorize everything, and then think about how you want to function going forward with these spices. Do you have a spice rack? There's so many different spice racks out there today, all different sizes, all different shapes. Again, pick the one that's going to fit in your cabinet for what you need to hold. And then how do you want to grab them? Some people alphabetize, some people put them in order of how they use them. Again, the systems are going to be different, but the process is the same. Think about how you want to grab them.
Okay, so I like that idea. So do what works best for you.
Exactly, yes.
All right. The next one, I love this idea, seasonal items.
Yeah, so if you're short on space in the kitchen and you have all your summer platters for outside and paper goods, if you have all those stored in an area of the kitchen that's taking up valuable space, think about putting them in a seal-tight bin, all the summer platters and things, put them in the basement or put them on shelves in the basement, and now you have room for your serving for the holidays, your servingware and things like that. So again, this happens when you're looking at those kitchen cabinets in the beginning and saying what needs to live here, what doesn't, and moving those seasonal items out and using that, rotating it if you're short on space. But I find people who have big kitchens, they end up throwing. So people who have small kitchens, it's challenging, but the people who have large kitchens, they still can be disorganized because the space is there, so they tend to throw.
They just
so they could be disorganized. I find that they're disorganized too, so it's a matter of really maximizing out that space if you have it.
Just kind of like how we talked about organizing your closet, organize your kitchen. So you need to trade your winter stuff for your all your seasonal gear.
Exactly.
All right, so this is a big one, appliances. We can all get very excited about our kitchen appliances, your blenders, your food processors, and if myself, I don't have a very big kitchen. You know, we live in New England, so some kitchens are very small. So you can get overwhelmed with counter space, with cupboard space, storage space, with appliances. So what do you suggest doing with appliances?
So again, what appliances are you using for the holidays? What appliances are you using seasonally? Things like that. Do you have space in the basement to put on a shelf covered so they don't get too dusty? You know, cover them. They have great containers now for things like that. So think about what you're using, what you're not using, and what can get put in another area of the house in the basement, stored on a shelf. So that way when you need it, I mean, if it's a blender that you're not using half the year, it can go downstairs. You can grab it when you need it if you're short on space. But really, again, think about what can be moved downstairs. And what's working, what's not working. You might have appliances that are broken or don't have the other pieces to them. Again, you won't know until you take everything out of these cabinets, what's hiding back there and what you're using and what you're not using. That juicer that you use like once a year, it can live in the basement on a shelf covered or in a covered cabinet.
Or make the decision. Maybe it's time to make some tough
decisions. Let it go.
Exactly. Yeah, make some tough decisions. Maybe a friend wants it. You know, I asked a friend if they wanted my espresso maker because it's been in the basement. I was like, oh, I'm going to get a new one. Well, do I need my old espresso maker? You know.
Yeah. So think about as you're going through, what can you get rid of?
It's probably time to let that one go. So maybe that juice maker. All right. Wrapping up here, plastic food containers. I love this one. Organize a Tupperware, which always seems to wreak havoc on everyone all the time, but a good use of it for the holidays.
Yes, so again, this could be another small project this weekend. Just take out all the Tupperware, and I can just have people moaning right now. Oh my God. Everything comes out, the process again, throw out anything that's not working well, it's stained or ripped or cracked, and how much do you really need? And the stuff that you don't need, think about if you don't have to donate it, but maybe put it in a seal-tight bin in the basement, bring it out during the holidays, and give everybody leftovers in those containers.
Love that.
So you can do that.
So don't bring it back. It's okay.
Yep. They can just do what they want with it after, so they can go in the basement in that seal-tight bin when you're ready to use them. Lock and Lock makes a great container because they have a lot. I think QVC sells them. They all fit in nest inside each other, the same, but different sizes, but each size will nest in each other, but the covers will be all the same. So you can get a small, medium, and large, but the covers all fit. So I love that. So I have the 3 sizes of containers, but then all the lids sit with each other. So they match well. And think about when you're organizing Tupperware too, to keep the lids with the actual container that it matches, because how many of you, again, how many lids are you touching to find the lid that you need, and you're rifling things up and now you're messing it up and it just becomes a headache and you throw everything back in and shut the door. So think about keep storing the lids with the actual containers. That will save you a lot of time and going through things.
Okay, I think that was the bonus. Yeah, that was the bonus one.
Yeah.
It was the Tupperware.
Tupperware is everybody's
Send
getting
your
it.
extra Tupperware home with your guests for the holidays and say, no, you don't need to return that one.
Exactly. And how much do you really need?
Exactly. All right, Kristin. Well, thank you so much.
You're
We're going
welcome.
to see you here in a couple weeks, and we're going to talk about how to keep everything stress-free for the holidays.
Yes, that'll be a big one.
So looking forward to that. You're going to give us impact on how to keep it all organized.
How to keep it all together.
I love that. All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Kristin.
Thanks, Molly.
You can check out her tips and how to keep things organized on her website, Organizing in Our Eye. And always send her your questions. Feel free. Hang tight as we get set up for our next guest, everyone. Thanks, Kristin.